Are we good?
Yep, just started. Here we go.
Perfect, perfect. Hey everyone, welcome to the PL-300 Power BI Deep Dive series. I'm going to cover the topics visualizing data and the Power BI service related stuff. So PL-300 has four of these sections. Two of the sections, prepare the data, model the data, were already covered. You have the link on our YouTube channel. We can post the link in the chat later on. Today, now we're going to, in an hour, try to cover the last two parts, visualize and analyze the data, manage and securing Power BI. And both of them are my favorite parts, so it should be fun. Perfect. So coming to visualizing, analyzing data, what are the subtopics? Creating reports, how do you enhance reports for usability, storytelling, identifying patterns and trends? These might look very practical and you might think like, how can they question you? They do. You have a lot of questions on these. And then we're going to, at the last, we will cover about how can you manage and secure your Power BI. First, let's start with report design requirements. The first thing is very important, know your audience. Three broad report consumer audiences are executives, analysts, or information worker. I will make sure to pass on this PowerPoint to you later so that it's easy for your reference. After you know your audience, you need to determine what type of report you need to make. Generally, if you're an executive, you would require a dashboard level, dashboard style report where you want the KPIs in there. If you're an analyst, you need an analytical report. If you're an information worker or just uses, if you use data just to make decisions, you need like a proper operational dashboard. And for all the other general audience, our educational dashboard works. Next, UI requirements, very important to define those. What are UI is basically how reports are consumed, and the appearance and the behavior of the reports come in the UI, interface. UX focuses more on the user experience. All your bookmarks, drill throughs, drill downs get into that category. Coming to Power BI report section, design Power BI reports. I'm not going to cover too much about what a line chart is or what a bar chart is, but I'm going to pick on some important elements that would be asked in your exams. And I gave my PL-300, I think 2 to 3 years back. So I would be sharing all my experiences about it. And I have a couple of my friends, my mentees, colleagues who also gave PL-300. Whenever it comes to report structure, this is one diagram that should pop in your head, really help me during my exams. What does it say? Every report, Power BI report, is going to consist of different pages. Each page has two elements, which is called visuals, and then the other thing is called elements. All of us are aware of visuals, right? Bar charts, all the fancy charts that are present in Power BI. Something that we tend to ignore are elements. So really important to know the difference between visuals and elements. Visuals are all your charts, all your visuals that query the data from your semantic model, that uses data from your semantic model. A line chart, a bar chart, a pie chart, a quick examples. Elements, these are the I would say decorative elements in your reports, like you add text boxes, your buttons, your shapes and images come under elements. They are not called visuals. So when you're reading out a question, if you see the word elements, the things that should pop into your mind are text box, buttons, shapes and images, not the visuals. So keep that in mind, really important. Next, uh, there are two things that, let me just finish. Okay. There are two things you need to remember. Whenever you're trying to design an analytical report layout, first thing you need to understand is a couple of things: placement, alignment, balance, proximity, contrast, repetition. When you're trying to create a visually appealing report, just by adjusting the space, margins, your size, your alignment, colors, keeping it consistent is going to make it better. Not going too much deep into the storytelling part right here. Now, another important thing that need to know are slicers and filters. So very confusing terms, but you really need to know the exact differences. What are slicers? Slicers are visuals that are placed on your reports so that the users can interact, can slice and dice the data. But filters are a specific, I would say, like a setting. There's a filter pane that helps you slice and dice your data. And coming to this particular table, very important to know what is visible to the users, what is not visible to the users, where slices are placed on the report canvas, but the filters are present in your filter pane. I can quickly show you a quick example right after this. Now, slices, like I told, is a visual, very easy to understand. Now, when it comes to filters, there are type of filters. So filters can be on a report level, can be on a page level, or can be on a visual level. So there are different types of filters that you need to know. On the left side of every Power BI screen, you will see something like this, wherein you have all your type of filters. So if you see, when you click on a visual, you have something called on this visual. So that's basically a visual level filters. Then you have on this page. So these are called page level filters, will apply only to that particular page. On all the pages is basically a report level filter. Once you put a filter here, it's going to be applied to all the other pages. And where do you find these filters? The answer is filter pane. Quick things to note here. Some of the things that you can do here is you can hide the filters. So if you see this particular filter is hidden, that means the end user is never going to see this particular filter. Lock is you are basically locking the filter. The end user will never be able to change the filters in this. Something that I like to do is hide the entire filter pane. If I do not want the end user to see what are the filters I'm using, is you can just use this button to hide it. And coming to individual filters, right? Depending on the data type of your filter, you will have different filter types. For example, here it's just a text filter. So you have advanced filtering, you have basic filtering, you have top end. So you need to know when you have a date field here, you have couple of filters like relative filters, time filters, between filters, date picker filters. So when you're playing around with Power BI, pay attention to it. um, and like I told, slicers, there are different types of slicers. Initially we just had one slicer, I was very happy with it, but now we have so many more slicers, very customizable, and I really love using those. The only drawback is most of them are in preview, so they are not generally available. So whenever you see this little lightning icon, it just means that it's in preview. It might go generally available very soon. And just kind of get to know what are the type of slicers. You have a tile slicer, there's a text slicer, there's a list slicer, and this is our old native slicer that's available. And let me quickly show you what are slicers. So the report that you see on screen, uh, complete fake data. I mean, it's just it was a demo report that I'm showing you. What a slicer is, on the top you see how you have advisor name and ACAD plan. So these are my slicers. So these are present on my canvas, helps me to filter, slice and dice my data. Now what are my filters? They are hidden in this particular filter pane. So you see how when I click on a visual, I have visual level filter. It will automatically pick all my fields, show me what are the filters on this page or on all pages. The best part about this is, say I want to filter um, to accounting. All I have to do is just go ahead, click the filters here, these get filtered. Now this was a visual level filter, but what if I do a page level filter, right? Say I change the name of my college to business college, you see how everything changes. So that's basically a page level filter. So this is where you will find this is your slicer and this is your filter. Make sure you have clear understanding between the differences. Moving forward, you have an option of editing the interactions or editing the interaction between visuals. How do you do that? You have to go to the format setting and you have something called edit interaction. This is a very important topic for your PL-300. In edit interaction, there are three types of interactions we can do. We can cross highlight, cross filter, and no interaction. Generally, we tend to remember cross filter and cross highlight. We tend to forget no interaction, but no interaction is also a type of interaction. So make sure when you are answering questions, cross filter, cross highlight, and no interaction should be there together in the answer whenever it comes anything related to edit interactions. Let me quickly show you how do you change or what does it make. Let's do, okay. So what happens right now is, you see, when I click on the advisor Arthur Dona, you see how everything changes. That's because they're interacting with each other. When I click on chemistry here, you see how all my numbers change. That's because visuals are interacting with each other. And that's why we use Power BI. Sometimes there is a chance that you want visuals to stop interacting, or you want to cross highlight rather than cross filter. I will quickly show you what the difference is. Let me click on a particular visual. I go to my modeling, go to my format, and then I will have something called edit interactions. Hit on edit interactions. Once you click on edit interactions, you will see these little icons pop up. You see how I have like two icons for a couple of visuals. And for some of the visuals, you will have three. Let me reduce the size. So you see how here I have three. So the first one is your cross filtering. Second is cross highlighting. And then the third is none, basically no interaction. On changing this, you can actually control how this particular visual interacts with the other visual. Now, currently it's at cross filtering. What happens when I do cross filtering is, you see, when I click on chemical engineering, all my numbers change. That's perfect. So that's because my chemical engineering has all these. What happens if I click here? Yep. Now see, when I click on no action taken, I don't have anything right here because the other visual has filtered down completely. Now, what happens when I convert it to cross highlight? When I cross highlight, the values stay and the values change. So when I click on no action, you see how instead of completely showing a blank box, it does show me everything grayed out or like slightly discolored. That's called cross highlighting. So cross filtering is going to filter down the entire visual. Cross highlighting is going to highlight, pop, and show you. So now say when I click on this, let's click on, let's do drop. Yeah, everything has been cross filtered right now. I have nothing there. But when I do cross highlighting, you're going to get everything. It's just going to be grayed out. And when I do no interaction, right? No matter what I click, you see now nothing is happening because I have converted it to no interaction. So that's pretty much how you could change the interactions between the visuals. One drawback is if you want to control one visual, you will have to do it everywhere. For example, you have this particular visual, you want to make everything blank out or everything cross highlight. You will individually have to click, individually have to click a particular visual, go ahead and change the setting, and then go ahead and change the setting altogether everywhere. So that's one little drawback of the edit interaction section. Moving on. What are the other techniques that you can use for interactivity, right? Any question? Perfect. First thing is visual interactions already covered, cross filter, cross highlight, no interactions. Then comes drill throughs. What are drill throughs? You can drill through from one visual to another page, and that other page is going to have another visual. I'll show you a demo. What is drill down? I have a visual. I'm drilling down in the same visual. I'm not navigating to another place. So it's important to know the difference between these two. You might have questions on this. I will show you a demo of it. Then another way to interact is you can create tooltips. Two type of tooltips you could create. I will be covering it in the upcoming slides. Bookmarks. One important thing you need to know is bookmarks capture a specific view of the report. Keeping this language in mind is very important because whenever you see any question that says, how can I capture a snapshot of a report or can capture a specific view of the report, the answer is always going to be bookmarks. So keep that in mind. And then the filter pane, I already showed you. You have your filter, three type of filters, page, visual, and report. And there are a couple of query reduction options as well. I will show you this quickly. Before I show you the demo of all of this, I want to quickly run through what is the difference between drill down and drill through. Like I said, drill down, same visual, you're going inside, deeper inside that visual. So all the settings is present on the visual. Drill through is you're navigating to a very different page and that different page is going to have another visual that is going to get filtered out. So for drill through, you will need two pages. For drill down, it just happens in a single page. Let's see quick demos of everything, right? First, let's do drill through and drill down. So what I'm going to do is, okay, this is my initial report. Now I have this particular table wherein I have my advisor names. Now, if I want to add a drill down to it, what I do is just add in extra information to my rows. For example, for now, let me just throw in a student name. See, even though I threw in a student name here, I did not see any change here. That's because I need to drill down. How do you drill down? Is all these tiny icons you see on top of the visual, it helps you drill down. So you see that one arrow that help you turn on your drill down. The, the two arrows is going to take you to the next level in the hierarchy. The last arrow is going to open all the hierarchy possible. So when I click on drill down, you see how I have my advisor followed by all my student names. So that's how you can drill down. So what is happening is I have a view. I am expanding my view by using drill down. So I didn't have to navigate to any other page. I am good here. Now, what is drill through? For drill through, what you have to do is first create a new page. Once you create a new page, you have to convert this page to a drill through page. How do you do it? You go to page information. In page type, you can go ahead and convert it into drill through. Once you convert it into drill through, let me just add, I'll just copy paste the same visual for now, but you can have a completely different visual. You don't have to have the same table. I can probably, let me just throw it into a bar chart so that you don't get confused, or a table. Okay, so I have something like this. Or let's just keep it the same way for now so that it's easy for me to understand. So in drill through, the one important thing you need to keep in mind is you have to select a particular field you want to drill through. For example, in this particular report, I want to drill through using my advisor field. Once I decide that field, I have to go back to my drill through page and throw in that particular field into this section which says drill through from. So the name of my field was advisor name. Now, once you do that, you see how I will have a back button that pops up. That's automatic. It happens automatically. Once that happens, that means your drill through is working. It's going to work perfectly fine. Now let's see it in action. What is a drill through? So let me select, I'm selecting my advisor Linda. I do a right click and you see I have this option called drill through, and then it's going to show me which page. So currently it's just page one. I did not rename it yet. Once I click on page 2, you see how my entire table has been drilled through Linda. That's because I selected Linda there, right? Now, couple of things you could do here is I've added my student names who belong only to Linda. So I can see more information about that. So that's one way of how you could use your drill throughs. And one more thing is once you drill through, right, you can just use this back button to come back. That's why you automatically have that. So hope you understood the difference between drill through and drill downs. Very easy to understand. Perfect. Next, let's see tooltips. So like I was talking about the default settings, by default, Power BI is always going to show you a tooltip. This is a tooltip, right? You have your all the fields followed by your numbers pop up here. Now, there is something that you could do is add a custom tooltip. How do you do it? You can actually create a tooltip page. Create a new page, open open the page, set it as tooltip. Once you set it as tooltip, it becomes like a tiny page. That's because tooltips are meant to be tiny. Just for working on it, I like to zoom it in because I'm blind. I really need everything to be huge and big. Once you add in, you can add in anything here. So say I add in, let me just add in a KPI number probably. You can add in your KPI card here, and let's rename this page as tool tip. And then I am going to have one KPI card so that it's visible. Whatever you throw in this tooltip page can be linked to a visual. So what I threw right now is students with advisor, right? What I can do is I can click on any visual. In the tooltip property, I can actually link it to that report page. So just changing the type to page. What is the name of my page? It's tooltip. That's it. So now what happens is when I hover over it, I am going to get my tooltip page, and you see how the numbers change. Basically, it kind of gets filtered down too. So that's one way of creating tooltip. So I did have a question on how you can create a custom tooltip. I had to map out the steps. That's why I wanted to show a demo of how you could do it. So keep in mind that tooltips do not just mean default. You can have custom tooltips. For a custom tooltip, you need to have a custom tooltip page. How do you do it? Create a new page, convert it into tooltip. That's it. And one best thing, just for storytelling purposes, you can actually change the size of the tooltip. So once you click on tooltip, right, you see how my width and height gets grayed out. But if you think I need a bigger tooltip page, go ahead and click custom and then change your page. And then when we go back, you will actually be able to get a huge page. You see how I have like a much bigger tooltip. But the first step is always going to be converting it into a tooltip page from here. So hope that's clear. What is the next thing that I wanted to demo out? Bookmarks, filter pane, I already showed you. Query reduction options. I did have a question. So remember how we spoke about cross filtering, cross highlighting? What if I want none of the visual to interact with none of them? I just want like a static report. How do you do that? One, obviously, you can use edit interactions. Click each visual and shut down the interactions just by using these little icons that you see on the top. Or what you could do is you can actually go to optimize. Under optimization presets, you'll have three options: query reduction, interactivity, and customize. Once you select query reduction, you see how it tells you that this preset is going to switch off completely your cross highlighting, cross filtering. And that's all. So one step how you can stop interaction is going to optimization presets and enabling your query reduction. I'm not currently doing it right now because it's going to affect all my demo. So keep that in mind. So that's how you could use your query reduction options. Um, Perfect. Next, already went through this. How can you enhance Power BI UX? Very important. Always have high level metrics on the top, supporting visuals, and then details like a table when it's required. Keep that in mind. What are the techniques you can use to improve user experience is drill downs. We already saw a demo of it. You can add tooltips. The visual tooltips, I already showed you, like by default, you have those. You can create a new page tooltip, connect it with your visual and show that as well. Drill through, I've already shown a demo. These might look very silly, but I did get a question on what are the way, like I had some options wherein I had to choose what are the ways of you can enhance your user experience. So I had tooltips, I had filters. So filters is not a way you can enhance the user experience, right? So be very, very careful with the words and keep this in mind. Next, so this is what I was talking about. So this is how the default tooltip looks like. This is how you can add an extra page tooltip that I just demoed out for you. Next, moving on to managing and securing Power BI, mostly about the Power BI service. Do I have it opened? Okay, perfect. So first, let's do a quick, like, why do we need that, right? Imagine you're a data analyst, you spent lots of time creating a beautiful Power BI report, very beautiful, has interactive visuals, very insightful. Now what happens is your leadership team is like, give me access to it. And then one of the department is like, give me access as well. What if you do not have Power BI service, what would you do? You would probably just attach your PBIX into an email and then share it across, right? But that's not the right way to do. Why sharing a static Power BI PBIX file is not scalable is one. It's going to create version control issues. Obviously, right? Say I have a Power BI report and Chetan here is like, Lakshmi, can you pass on the Power BI report? I want to make some changes. I pass it on to Chetan. Chetan makes some changes. And then I have Roshni who's like, Lakshmi, can you also give me the report? I'm going to give her the report. She's going to make the changes. Now you see how one Power BI report is going to have three versions. One with me, one with Chetan, and one with Roshni. That's going to cause a lot of data integrity issues. So in order to avoid that, you really need to know what a Power BI service is, how it can be helpful. What are the other? Again, like I said, data inconsistency. I could change something, Roshni could change something, Chetan could change something else too. Next, makes collaboration difficult. Obviously, now if the leadership is going to ask a report, who's going to send the report? Am I going to send, or is it going to be Chetan, or is it going to be Roshni? So that's where the just sharing a PBIX is not scalable. That's where your Power BI service comes in, right? What do? Is you create your reports on your Power BI. Let me just get rid of the animations. Okay. What you do is you create your Power BI, your reports on a Power BI desktop. You publish your report to the Power BI service. What is Power BI service? Is a centralized web-based environment. Kept it in bold because you will actually get the exact same words in your PL-300 exam, and I've picked this from Microsoft Learn. So keep in mind, whenever you see this word Power BI service, the first thing that should pop into your mind is centralized web-based environment. What can users do there? They can view the report, they can interact, and they can collaborate. So these three words are important again: view, interact, collaborate, and obviously security is important too. So this slide, quick information: whenever you see Power BI service, centralized, web-based, what can you do? You can view, interact, and collaborate. And something that I like to do is keep this particular image in mind, helps me solve a lot of questions that are related. Let me just get rid of the animations so that, okay. First thing to is, let's focus on this particular image right here, right? I have my report in Power BI desktop. I publish it. Keep remember the word publish. Where do I publish? I publish it to Power BI service. All this beautiful cloud you see is your Power BI service. What is Power BI service? It's a SaaS product, service as a software. How can you access it? You need to have a web browser to access it, and this is the URL you can use for it. Now, what does Power BI service have? Power BI service has these building blocks: workspace, reports, semantic model, dashboards, and apps. So I just have a quick acronym that I use. I call it as WORDS. So whenever you see building blocks of Power BI service, keep this in mind. WORDS. What are these? Workspace, apps, reports, dashboards, and semantic models. So quick thing to take back from here. What is the workflow or how do you publish it on Power BI service? This image is going to answer that question. What are the building blocks of Power BI service? This image is going to answer your question. So, very important slide to keep in mind. Next, let's quickly focus on workspaces. What are workspaces? You remember how workspaces was at the top. So, it's really important. These are basically like folders or containers. For what? For my Power BI content. Now, why do we use folders? So that everything is organized, so that I can manage everything in one place. So that's why we use folders. So remember the words organize, manage in one place, workspaces. Next, there are two types of workspaces. One is called a My Workspace, which is by default, everyone has this My Workspace and it is private to an individual user. I can see my workspace, Sarah can see her workspace. No one else can do that. Shared workspaces. Basically, I create a new workspace and I share it with everyone in this call. That's going to be a shared workspace. Let me quickly show you. So you see how I have my workspace. That's my workspace, very private to me. I have my database championship stuff in here. And then you have all the other workspace, all my work stuff. So this is a workspace where I have my all my demo files that I have. And this I can share with anyone, but the other one is just private to me. So keep that in mind. We kind of sometimes miss my workspace. We are like, oh, shared workspaces. No, there are two type of workspaces. So very important to keep that in mind. Next, reports. What are reports? Every report on Power BI can have one or more pages. So keep that in mind, one or more pages, and can contain one or more visuals. Let me get rid of this. Okay, what do you do on reports? Is you're going to create your visuals. Visuals in Power BI are not static by default. They are going to interact. They are going to filter as you keep clicking things. So keep that in mind. Very important to note is by default, they're not going to be static. You need to control the interactions to make them static. Next, semantic models. We had a huge session, big session by Jeff on semantic models. We can skip this, but couple of words that you need to remember is source of data. You get all your data from semantic models. Using that data, you can create your visuals, all your bar charts, line charts, pie charts. What is semantic model? Collection of table, relationship, and measures. Obviously, data is present in my tables. Tables need to interact with each other too. So you need to have relationships. What are measures? Tiny calculations that I want to do on the fly, I use measures. So what a semantic model is basically collection of all my tables, relationships, and my measures. Two important terms you need to remember is semantic models can be promoted or can be certified. I have a detailed slide on this later, but keep in mind that these two words are really important. You will, I am sure, get at least one or two questions on this. Um, Next was dashboards. What are dashboards? They are single page. You can pull data from multiple reports and models. So one important thing for everyone here is do not get confused with reports and dashboards. What we what the internet tells us is reports are when more than one page is your reports. Dashboards is if you just have one page, it's a dashboard on your Power BI desktop. But that's totally wrong. Dashboard is something that you can create only on Power BI service by pinning or picking visuals from your reports. I will show you a quick demo about it. But keep in mind, whenever you see this word dashboard, the first thing you should get in mind is a single page. It is a single page that can pull data from multiple reports or models. So keep those words in mind. Why do we need dashboards? Helps you to focus on quick insights. One important thing about dashboards is you can actually, it supports alerts. So you can actually set alerts on particular tiles. I'll show you a demo of this as well. And like I said, dashboards are exclusive to Power BI service. You can create dashboards only in on Power BI service. How do you do that? I think one of my colleague had this step by step procedure of how you can create a dashboard. Dashboard, whenever you see the word dashboard, the first word you should see is pin. So you have to pin a visual from an already existing report, and that is called a tile. So what you do is you pick a visual from another report and you pin it on your particular dashboard. And so keep in mind this word pin and tile is important. Now, this particular dashboard can have tiles from different reports, and this dashboard can be shared with everyone. Let me quickly show you how do you do that. So I have my workspace here. I can create a dashboard. Just going to new item, and I have my dashboard ready here. And then let's do PL-300 study. Oh my God. And then I'm going to hit enter. Once I do that, I'm going to get like a blank page because I do not have anything on my dashboard. Now, how do you throw in values inside my dashboard is, say I have this particular report and I really like this particular KPI, or my dashboard needs this KPI. You see this little pin visual. So remember, I told the word pin is very important. When I go ahead and click pin, it's going to ask me, do you want to pin it to the dashboard? Which pin, like, do you want to create a new dashboard or you want to pin it in an existing one? Since I already just created a new one, I'm going to select existing dashboard and then click what the name of my dashboard is and hit pin. Once I hit pin, it tells me that the visualization has been pinned. Now let me just go to my dashboard. You see how I have my pinned visual here. One more thing to note is you can use different visuals, right? So let me open another report. Now I have a completely different report and I want to pin this particular visual. I can do that. Click the same, click pin, go back to my dashboard. You see how I have, why did I click that? I'm sorry. You see how you have two different visuals from two different reports on a same page. So this is the magic of dashboards. So keep in mind, pin is important, and here each of this element is called a tile. So instead of telling two visuals here, the term used is tile. So I have two tiles currently present, and you see how it's just one page. You cannot add more pages to your dashboards. We good on time? Perfect. Okay. Next, we have quick information about difference between dashboard and report. Like I said, dashboard single page, reports can be multiple page or can be one page. Reports interactivity in dashboard is very limited. You see how if I have two to three visuals from very different pages, you're not going to have that much interactivity. Dashboards are good for quick insights. So if you see here, quick insights. How do you create dashboards? By pinning visuals as styles. Reports you can build directly on desktop or you could do it on service too. And yeah, so whenever dashboards, pinning tiles, important to remember. Next, apps. What are apps? Apps are easy way to share related content all in one place. What you can do is you can have 10 reports. But if I want to share all the 10 reports to say Swati here, I don't want to send her all the 10 report links separately, right? What if I can throw all of them in this bucket, like in a folder or in a that's called an app. So I'm going to throw all of them in an app so that I can have all the related content together that I can go ahead and share with Swati. So the words that you need to remember is related content. Actually, to be honest, doesn't have to be related. You can actually throw random reports on an app, but not suggested, obviously, all in one place. And then it's great way to share content with a larger audience. So I work at Missouri University of Science and Tech. We use apps all the time. Really helpful when you have like a larger audience who's looking at all your reports. And the best part is you can target multiple audiences in the same app. I'll show you a quick demo of that as well. Before we proceed to the demo of workspace and app, what are the difference between? Because remember, I told workspace is also a folder where I can have everything together. And then I said again that app is also a place where I can have everything together. But there are very minute differences that you need to know. The first thing is coming to the audience. When it comes to a workspace, everyone can have access to it. I mean, the end users can look at it, the developers can also look at it, depending on the permission levels you have. So basically, workspaces are used by developers like you and me who create reports. I want to go make a change, I want to publish something, I use a workspace. The app is very, very specific to my end users or my consumers. I don't want my end users to go and see my reports, right? I don't want them to go and make changes. So I'm going to give them access only to my app. And then, like I said, whoever has access to the workspace can say everything. If you have access to the app, you can actually curate what you want to show the end users. That's important. Workspace, based on the roles, you can do editing, you can edit the reports, but apps, it's strictly read only. So one very important thing to keep in mind, that apps are strictly read only. So one exam tip right here is viewers in a workspace can access the app. And what is an app? A read-only curated experience. You're now going to see the entire workspace. Let me show you a quick demo of it. So let me switch this off. Let's shut this down. Okay. So what you see right now is a workspace. I have my workspace. It's S&T Air demo. I have lots of reports in it. I have a couple of semantic models. I have a dashboard that I just created. So now you see how if I give access to this to my end user, the end user can come and open my report, can go and edit stuff. I don't want that, right? I want the end user to just look at it. But once the user comes here, they can always go ahead and edit it. That's not what we want. So what we do is we create an app. How do we create an app? First thing is, for creating an app, you need to have a workspace. I have a workspace in front of me. And on the top, you see you have update app. Basically, you will have create app initially. Once you click on create app, you will have three: setup, content, and audience. In setup, you can add a logo, you can write give it a name and add your description. You can even change the theme color. Let me do purple. Purple is my favorite. And then we go to content. In content, you can throw in whatever data you want to see from that workspace. So when I click on this, you see how I just have five reports in here, but you can add as many reports as you want. You can add dashboards as well. So let's just stick to five. Next, what you can do is I can group these. So say I want, like, you can create a new section, you can create new groups. Like say you have finance. You can have all your finance related data in a single thing. You have HR, you can have all grouped together. That's one part of the content. Next is audience. This is where you can actually set your audience. You see how here I have, like, these are the audiences. By default, workspace users are going to get the audience access. And then you can add extra people here. Like you can add more people if you want specific people to view. And the best part about this is you can actually control who views what. Now here you see how all the five reports are going to be viewed by these people. But what if I want a new audience where they should only be able to see my pipeline report? That's all, right? Once you do that, you can set who's the viewer. Let me just throw in myself. Okay, I am already a workspace user, so I'm good. So what you see now here, I have two audiences. The first audience is S&T Fabcon, and then my second audience is this new audience. I can just change it to demo, wherein you see how I was able to only choose one particular report and hide all of them. Once you set your audience, you're ready to go. You can click on update your app. What is happening right now is I'm creating an app. I can open my app just by clicking go to app. Once you do that, you see how this is the app. You see, remember how I changed it into purple? I shouldn't have done it. It looks really bad. But yes, so you see, I have a purple here. I have my name of the app here. On the top, you see how I have two audiences. I have S&T Fabcon demo, where all my five reports are visible. I can play as an end user. I can play around with it, do whatever I want, do filtering, cross highlighting, but I cannot go and edit it. Next, when I go to demo, you remember how I showed only one report. Only one report was visible. You see how it was visible. So that's the magic of apps. The way where you find apps is, again, like you just see apps here. You can go here and find your particular apps that you create. Things to remember is one workspace can have only one app. Very important. They're read only. Workspaces. How do you create a workspace? Very basic. I'm not going to show you, but what you do is you go to workspace. The reason I'm showing you this is you might have a question on how you can, like a steps to follow. You go to workspace, you click on new workspace, then you have options like this. You have to give in a name. Name, it has to be a unique name. It is a mandatory field. Then you have to give an description, not mandatory, but it's very helpful to understand the purpose of the workspace. Then you assign a domain. It's optional. We can ignore that. You can add images. One important thing to remember is the format is .png or JPG has to be less than 45 kilobytes. Then you can add the name of people to contact about the workspace. If they have any questions, you can list down the names and then you can hit apply. You will have your workspace ready. Now, coming to license modes, the most, I would say, tough and the dreaded part. I don't like this topic at all, but very important topic for your PL-300 exams. You can always open Microsoft Learn, do a Control F, find out things about your license mode. But quick information: a lot of license modes available. You will see here on the screenshot. Three things mostly you are questioned are Pro, Premium per user, and Fabric. One thing to note is when you see Premium per user, in my question, I didn't have the entire abbreviation Premium per user. I was just given PPU. And then I was wondering what PPU is. And then I suddenly remembered, oh, it's Premium per user. So keep in mind, whenever you see PPU, it's Premium per user. So these are the three main license modes you need to really focus on and know for your PL-300. I've put in a quick table for you so that it's easy for you to prepare for your exam license modes. Power BI Pro, any user can have a Power BI Pro to access the share content. Obviously, these two are more important. So for the PPU, you need to have only users who have the PPU access can view, and it has all the properties, or I mean, all the functions and features of the Power BI Pro features, plus couple of other things like you can add paginated reports, more AI features, more scheduled refreshes. Really good for small teams. And then it's cost per user. It's not very flexible when it comes to bigger organizations. Then you have something called premium or fabric capacity can be viewed by all the free users. That's one big advantage. The creator, the people who are going to create or developers should have a pro or a PPU, depending on what the setup of your environment is. Then it is a, I mean, couple of other features. One important thing to note is are these icons. So during my PL-300, I had a screenshot of list of like couple of workspaces with these icons, and then I was asked to match the following which icon belongs to what. So just keep in mind whenever you have premium per user, you'll have this diamond and a user. So whenever you see this user symbol, it's premium per user, and then when you just see this diamond, it's a premium capacity. And so it looks something like this. So if you see I have my workspace and then I have a premium capacity, or if you have like another workspace with a little tiny user, it's a PPU workspace. So keep that in mind. We tend to ignore these, but I did have a like, very weird question on my PL-300. Next, roles, access, and permissions. What do roles do? It helps you manage who can do what in your workspace. Obviously, you don't want everyone editing whatever is in your workspace, right? So there are four main roles you need to keep in mind. Viewers, contributors, members, and admins. Try to keep in mind in the same order, really helpful when you're going to answer your questions. I have like a little table for you so that it's easy for you to remember. Viewer, what can a viewer do? Can interact and view the reports. Obviously, the name says viewer, right? Then comes contributor. They can create, edit, and delete, plus view and interact the report. So have additional functionalities. What can members do? They can actually manage the content. They can change a couple of data settings. They can publish apps. So I was a member, workspace member, so I was able to publish my apps. Then what an admin do? Admin has all control, can do pretty much anything, can even delete the entire workspace. So this is the order. Viewer has the least permissions and my admin has the highest permission. So keep in mind these. One thing you need to remember is there was this question for me where it was asked that when I have a row level security, where will it which role is it enforced first? So viewer is the only role where the RLS will be enforced. So keep that in mind. Very, very important line, and I am sure you will get a question on this. Next, again, like a quick table view, you see how admin has all the access and viewer, the access just goes down and down. So before your exam, take a quick glance at it, really helpful for your PL-300. Next, how do we set roles? So coming to say I have my workspace. Once you go to your workspace, you have something called manage access. There you can set your role. So I have Lakshmi, I can change the view, I can make her a viewer, I can make admin, contributor, or I mean, I have to be an admin to do all that. So this is where you can go ahead and change. And one more important thing is you can actually even remove a member. So don't just think that addition and modify, you can actually remove complete access just by going to this particular settings. Then coming to publishing on Power BI service, right? There are two ways you can actually do it. Remember how I kept telling you can keep publishing from Power BI desktop, but you can actually do it directly in the workspace. Since we are on the topic of workspace, I wanted to put it out for you. How do you do it in Power BI desktop? Is you create a report, you go to this publish setting, select whatever workspace you want, and then hit publish. You will see that your report is published. The one thing to remember is if you are using just a simple Excel or a CSV, the semantic model will also be published with the report. So keep that in mind. It's not just a report that's going to be published. Next, the other way you could do it is directly in your to your workspace. You don't if you don't want to hit that publish button, you open your workspace, go to import, go to report, and then just choose wherever your PBIX is. You will be able to import your file directly to the workspace. So there are two ways, not just one way. We don't tend to do this, but good to know for the exam purposes. Quick, like for everyone who just stayed here, I had like a quick tip on how you can answer like lot of questions like this, which are huge sentences, going to take more time. What I'd like to do is follow a keyword strategy, or I would say like a strategy of elimination. Quick thing that you need to do: read the question. Which of the following is the best description of workspace? Once you remember the workspace, remember the diagram that I showed you, the cloud diagram, right? And then what you do is just quickly start eliminating everything that does not look good to you. Now here it says that it allows the users to view report only. That's not, no, it actually gives me more features than viewing. So cancel it out. Next, I see the word centralized. I see the word collaborate. That means this is the answer. And then obviously this goes off. So what I'm trying to tell you is uh, just remember those keywords. Don't sit and waste your time reading the entire sentences. There are two more. I will throw it in the uh, PowerPoint. You can play around with it later. Next, uh, we already spoke about viewer, contributor. I can probably just so we spoke about what are the workspace roles. I also showed you how you can add, remove on the in your workspaces. We also saw what Power BI apps are. The reason I included these are all these bold wordings really helps during your PL-300. Already saw how you can create a report, go to workspace, create a new report, add whatever you want to see in the report. Next comes endorsing your content. I have a, yeah, so pretty much remember I told you promoted and certified. Keep this in mind. Who can do a promotion is dataset owner, contributor, workspace. Anyone can do it. But if you want to certify your semantic models can be done only by the admin. So this was the only like difference that you really need to know. Next, already told you how you can create dashboards. Just use the pin, use tiles. How do you set alerts? Click on a visual. You will have something called manage alerts. Open manage alerts. This is where you can set in your alerts, throw in whatever frequency you want. Just hit save and close. Click on send me an email. You will get an email. What happens is whenever your data goes above, below, or a specific threshold, you are going to get an email. RLS, OLS, let me just quickly show you a demo instead of showing you slides since we have less time left. So what is RLS? Row level security. Row level security is set in your Power BI desktop files. What I can do is say I have this particular file where I have all the advisors, right? But I am Linda. I don't want Linda to see the student counts of all my other advisors. So how do I restrict Linda that she is able to see only her data? That's where RLS comes in. RLS stands for row level security. How do you do it? Is you go to the modeling tab, you have manage roles. Click on manage roles. So this is how you get the screen. Then you go to set a role. So let's just stick to Donna. So say I'm creating a role for Donna. So Donna Arthur is one of my advisors. I'm going to pick that particular name. So my advisor name should be equal to Arthur Donna. So make sure that you have the name exactly as it is in your data set. So what it's going to do is create a role called Donna. where the advisor name is Donna. So Donna is going to see only the information related to her and then simply hit save. It tells you that it successfully applied the close. Now, one good way is you can actually test out the RLS directly in your reports. How do you do that? You go to view as, and then you see how I have Donna here. Click on Donna and hit OK. You see, I have only information about Donna right here. And then it says you're viewing as Donna. So that's pretty much it. So that's a RLS. How do you set RLS? Is directly going to the Power BI desktop, go to modeling, go to manage roles, set your little rules, and then you can also test it out. That was pretty much about the RLS, a little story here. You can go through this later. Two types of RLS, static or dynamic. The static one is like I showed you, like you can have specific, like I can have one for Donna, I can have one for Lakshmi, and so on. For dynamic, you can have more larger number of roles that can be really helpful. Configuration, I just showed you a live demo of it. Here's a screenshot for it. Um, how do you test it? Already showed you that. And then how can you add more members is okay. Then after you're setting your roles, right, you can also have security groups. So this is done in Power BI service. What you can do is you can go to your model, click on security. After clicking on security, you'll have things like this where you can add people into that group. For example, I have finance. I, I can add in my members. If I have HR, I can add in my members. So what happens is when the members sign in, they're only going to see the reports that belong to finance or belong to HR. So that's one more way of how you can add member to the particular roles that you create. Remember dynamic RLS? Dynamic RLS is basically when you want dynamic rules, right? For example, there are two DAX, really important, you need to remember is username and user principal name. Username, when you open in desktop, it's going to show you your domain / your username. And if you open it in service, it will show you your email you've logged in with. If you use user principal name, it's going to give you email in both service and desktop. So it's always preferred to use user principal name because it shows email your email address both in desktop and service. I did have a question on this. What are the DAX functions that can be used for dynamic RLS? So keep in mind, these are the only two DAX functions. And then object level security, I didn't have any question. Good to know. You can actually initially you need to have external tool called Tableau Editor, but now you can actually do it with the Timdal Editor. Again, it's a preview feature. All you have to do is just add this particular sentence which says column permission salary is equal to none or red. When you do none, the users cannot access that. When you set it as red, the users can access it. So just a quick column permission is enough for the purposes. Coming to OLS, one thing you need to remember is, say, I have three tables, right? A, B, and C. I'm just explaining what OLS is. Now, if A has a column which contributes to B, and then B has a column that contributes to C, I go ahead and lock my B. If I do that, the only restriction of RLS is I will not be able to access anything from A or C either, because all of them are dependent on each other. But I will be able to access these two individually. So keep that in mind. That is one particular restriction in OLS. And that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. But I have a little table for all of you that will help you for your PL-300. Quickly going through this, I think I have just 3 minutes. We are good on time. Perfect. So on the left side, you see like I have these huge sentences, and I picked these from Microsoft Learn, and these are basically what you have to look into your answers. Let's pick a quick thing. Okay, let's talk about these two, right? You see how whenever the question says navigate to a different report page on click, remember drill through, the answer is going to be drill through. When the question says I want to drill the same within the same hierarchy, the answer is going to be drill down. When I say I want to capture the visibility, remember capture a particular state, the answer is always going to be bookmarks. Yeah, answer is going to be bookmarks. So I have like couple of tips and tricks here for all of you. Once you finish preparing, you can go through these really help you save time. And yeah, more information. Let's pick anything like, oh, this is important, you will get a question on this. If whenever the question says pixel perfect layout or printable document, the answer is always paginated report. and page-related report abbreviation, I mean, the extension is going to be .rdl. So this is one question I am sure everyone is going to get. And then you have more, like, for example, let's talk about this. So remember I told about promoting and certifying, right? Certification can only be done by admins, particular users, but promotion, anyone can do it. So endorsements can be done two ways, promoted and certified. So these are two tables that will help you narrow down, save time. And yep, that's pretty much it. I am happy to take any questions. Do we have any question? Perfect. I don't see any questions.
Great job, Lakshmi. Round of
Thank you, Jeff.
applause.
Thank you.
Awesome. Is this? No, I do have a question. Is this PowerPoint going to be made available to everybody that was here today?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. I will convert it into a PDF and pass it on.
Perfect. What I'll do is so once we're done here, I'll download the recording, upload it to YouTube, and send a message out to everybody here. If you did arrive a little late, I do have some PL-300 vouchers. So if you have not emailed me yet, please feel free to email me at, I'll put it in the chat because you didn't get it if you arrived late.
Mm.
Please email me. And then once again, thanks to Lakshmi for walking us through a boatload of content and giving us some very helpful slides to walk through, especially this last one's, I think,
Yep.
excellent, right? Like just a little quick cheat sheet.
Yes.
So then there's an ask for the YouTube link. I'll get that and send it. All right. Anything else for Lakshmi? Anybody have anything while we're here?
Perfect. While Jeff is providing the YouTube link, I just want to give us like a quick tip to everyone is don't keep waiting. Don't just keep preparing for PL-300. Then you're never going to take the exam. So just prepare for a few weeks and then just go for it. Jeff is giving you your PL-300 vouchers as well, the 50% voucher. Make sure you use it. Send him an email quickly because it's first come, first serve. It's going to get over quickly. And then go ahead and give that exam. If you use Power BI on a regular basis, it's going to be really easy for you.
All right. So I put the link in there. It's Richard.
Mhm.
I have no idea why it shows up as Richard Gilmore realizes they failed Rory, but that will go to our link. I'm not sure. Hey, you know what?
Yay.
It's Friday afternoon. Yeah,
Yes,
see,
it
the link
does.
works. No
Yes.
idea why it's showing us that. So, all right. There is one question from the chat, so please come off mute
Y-
and ask if you'd like. Here, I'll stop the recording.